So you just got done watching the fights. The kids are asleep. The wife's in the other room doing, well, what wives do.
Am I the only one that does a goddamn thing around here? How hard is it to pick up after a
So decision time. You could either go in the other room and deal with...
After all I've done today, you expect me to wanna...
Or keep it locked right here. Because it's time for the Billy C. Post-Fight Wrap-Up on Fight Now TV. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Billy C.
And we're coming to you live from the Billy C. studio on Fight Now TV. Glad you could join us for the Manny Pacquiao-Timothy Bradley post-fight show. I don't know what to say. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Honestly, I just don't know what to say. Just so you know, for the record, I scored the fight 118 to 110 in favor of Manny Pacquiao. The three judges saw it a lot different. Manny Pacquiao 115, 113, and then two of the three judges had it at the same score for Timothy Bradley. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I'm in total shock. You know, to me, I didn't even think the fight was close. You know, there was no way, in my opinion, that I thought that the fight was even the least bit close. I'm shocked. I don't know what else to say. And joining us right now, you guys know him for the last 8 years, and he does a TV show in this corner. Please welcome Smitty. Smitty, what do you think, man?
Well, I don't do a TV show. I do the only syndicated weekly boxing show in America, and I've been doing it for 8 years. I went into this fight picking Tim Bradley to score the upset. It was one of those situations where I said that I thought that that Bradley, I picked him to win, although I said probably Manny would prevail, but he was right. I had this fight pretty lopsided for Manny. I thought what took place before the fight, though, and what ended the fight is the whole problem with boxing. It's a joke. The fact that Manny would be able to watch a damn Lakers, it should have been the Lakers, a Celtics Heat game and have that delay a fight for that length of a time, and then have the decision be the way it was in a fight that, I always say that even when I'm wrong, I'm right. I picked, Bradley to win the fight. He didn't, but he got the decision. Maybe it's poetic justice because Manny clearly lost the last fight to Juan Manuel Marquez, and he didn't. Marquez didn't get the decision, but it's why, and I had a lengthy discussion today at the International Boxing Hall of Fame with Jerry Cooney. This is why that we have to have a real commission and real people that know boxing. Not boxing people, but people that know boxing, that work with a person that has nothing to do with boxing, that can legitimize this sport. Because everything we saw in my place where I live now in Vegas was a disgrace tonight.
What did you score the fight, Smitty? What did you score?
Yes, I did.
What did you have it?
I had it 118 to 110 for Pacquiao. And remember, I picked Bradley to win the fight.
I scored it the exact same way. To me, I thought Manny Pacquiao won the fight hands down. When they were carrying Bradley around, I figured it was just, a feel-good thing. I was when I heard the first score
They weren't carrying Bradley around, though. What the deal is again, Manny Pacquiao, and I love him. I've done stuff with him before you guys probably even knew who he was. I mean, I was there ringside when he beat Letwaba. I did my first show with him in 2004, a long, lengthy interview one-on-one. He did my show and an in-ring with him, and he's a hell of a fighter. But he's one of the most over-ranked fighters in the history of boxing because, when you compare him to the guy that I got in the ring with here today and Canastota, Sugar Ray Leonard and Duran and Hearns and those guys, he can't help that those guys aren't around. But, Manny's he's a heck of a fighter. But, this is what we saw today, and you scored it right. But it was a disgrace. Everything, though, was a disgrace. Please don't just talk about on your show tonight the fight and the scoring. Talk about how in the world could a guy watch a frickin' basketball game when millions of people are paying all the money that they did to watch a fight like this, and he's able to watch a basketball game and delay another prize fighter from getting inside. And everybody wants to criticize Floyd Mayweather. He would never do this to another fighter. I like Manny, but this was disgraceful. And maybe it's poetic justice, because what he did to Bradley was wasted, and I'm sure you saw it, knowing boxing the way you do. He was done after 2 or 3 rounds. He's 28 years old. It wasn't from Manny's big punching. It was the fact that this whole thing was a setup, and I'm not saying it was fixed, but it was all a setup to let the house fighter do whatever the hell he wants. And this can't go on anymore because, I know, Billy, you probably know about other sports. Could this have happened in the NFL, Billy, or the NBA, or the Major League Baseball, or the hockey? Could anybody just watch another sport and delay this? Could what we saw tonight have happened in any other sport?
Absolutely not. And what you said in the beginning is 100% true, Smitty. What the problem with boxing is that we have too many people involved in this sport that are not boxing people. But I want to ask you one question. I know you're busy. One quick question. If they did this special stuff for the house fighter, which I agree with you totally, that was absurd what they did, him disappearing, he's got a treadmill in there, all of that stuff, I agree with you 100%. But if they were going to, kind of lean towards the house fighter, didn't the judges get the memo? I mean, to me, that seems like it was totally the opposite.
Yeah, you know what? Great point. That's what I don't get. I thought, that's why I'm thinking that maybe they didn't, maybe somehow the text or the memo, what else could we the Skype?
Yeah.
I do a lot of that these days, but it's usually with beautiful women. I mean, what happened? How did it not get? Because you're absolutely right. It all favored the house fighter. Listen, I've scored tons of fights. The last fight that I clearly had for Marquez, I understand why some people, even a Harold Letterman, could have scored it the wrong way, because Harold is only into one thing these days: who throws the most punches. He's forgot about the 4 criteria, to score a fight. And I was amazed that after the fight, Billy, that I talked to several, I won't mention their names because they're all on TV now, younger guys that are doing the fights, and I said, how do you score a fight? They couldn't name the 4 criteria. Clean, hard punching, effective aggressiveness, ring generalship, and something called with defense. They didn't know about those things. And Harold even says that he only scores towards, the guy who's throwing the most. Clearly, Marquez did more of what he wanted to do and won that fight. Tonight, Manny did more of what he wanted to do. He landed the more punches. He landed the harder punches. So, yeah, I guess, I don't know, Top Rank is pretty sophisticated. I don't know how their machines broke down or what, but you're absolutely right. I'm befuddled, confused. I promised you I would take this phone call, and I did. And I got to go do a post-fight report right now. Maybe you can tell me what I should say, because I don't know. I picked Bradley to win the fight because I thought he would be very effective and aggressive and younger, stronger. Manny was confused, and with all this religious stuff. And by the way, I've been around Pacquiao. I've been in so many of his private training sessions, which nobody could go to. He always had us bow and pray, and he's been religious since 2004. Maybe he was talking the talk and not walking the walk, but I don't know. Maybe you can tell me what I should say in my post-fight report here tonight.
I think you should say one thing, that they hired the 3 blind mice as the judges tonight in Las Vegas. But, Smitty, I appreciate it. And, in this corner, the longest-running syndicated television boxing show. Did I get it right?
You did, and one thing I'm thrilled to say that, and it's great to meet you out here. I got a chance today to be in the ring with I think it's probably my 44th or 45th world champion, Sugar Ray Leonard. What we do on the show is we sit down with the greats, we interview them, and then I get inside the ring. I've been inside the ring with Pacquiao and Mayweather, the new kids. But But what I'm most excited about is the fact that I've been inside the ring with the Holyfields, the Bernard Hopkins, and the guys like today, which was an honor for me, Sugar Ray Leonard, who I will say, Billy C., I have a bridge, and Mike Tyson hit me with a shot and knocked it out. But Sugar Ray hit me with the hardest shot I've ever been hit with today, and I survived it. And that makes this day okay. And anyway, you hopefully you'll explain to the boxing fans. You do a great, honest job, and hopefully you can try to somehow explain what happened. But it's the theater of the unexpected, and tonight it's beyond that. It's more of a Nightmare on Elm Street or in Las Vegas. But hopefully we'll get a chance to see this rematch. Tim Bradley already printed out a ticket for November, so maybe we'll see a rematch. But anyway, it's great being on with you tonight.
It was great finally meeting you, Smitty, and until next time, my man, have a good one.
Thank you, buddy.
That's Smitty from In This Corner. He does the longest-running boxing TV show, so glad he could join us. I finally met him. He's on Fight Now, and I met him up at the International Boxing Hall of Fame. I had to leave because we were coming here to do this. And speaking of doing this, we got Tony Treem, who's ringside right now in Las Vegas, and we're going to see if we can get him on the line right now and see what his thoughts are. He's probably in the bathroom throwing up right now because that's the way I feel right now, because I think that it's a travesty what took place tonight in Las Vegas. To add to that, we had that weird thing with Jorge Arce. Who knows what was going on with that? I thought definitely the behind the ear is what messed him all up. But anyway, hey Tony. I guess we don't have Tony, so we'll try him in a little bit. But in any event, give us a call if you want to call in, 845-221-8710. I'm going to give Tony Treem one more shot here. We got some people in the chat room. Blind Ref scored it 117-111. I happen to have scored it 118 to 110 was the way I scored the fight. So I don't know what else to say about the scoring. I'm totally shocked. Totally shocked. At least the opening fight, Guillermo Rigondeaux, in my opinion, looked fantastic against Tion Kennedy. Speed kills, and it was evident in that fight. Tion was down in the first round once. He was down in the second round twice, and he was down in the fourth round and the last time in the fifth round. So, but in any event, well, Tony, I guess Tony can't hear his phone ringing or whatever is the case. But hey, we got the phone lines open, so anybody that's in the chat room right now or whatever, give us a shout. 845-228-8710. 845-228-8710 to get your thoughts and opinions talked about. All right, Guillermo Rigondeaux. He improves to what does he improve to? You know what? I don't even have his record in front of me. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I'm so shocked over this whole thing. Randall Bailey. How about Randall Bailey throwing hardly any punches for the whole night until it counted? Knocked out Mike Jones, who was a young gun in that one, and there's no doubt about it. One thing I enjoyed about that was Mike Jones making no excuses at the end of that fight. They said, and I said on the show last week, that his trainer was saying, oh, yeah, Randall Bailey's going to be a stepping stone for us. And they learned that wasn't the case. Joining us right now, Dax Khan. Dax, how'd you score it, my man?
Ooh, it was an interesting night of boxing, wasn't it?
How'd you score the fight?
I gave Tim 2 rounds.
That's all I gave him. I gave him the second round. I gave him the second round.
That Tim did, Billy. It was just the one round when Manny just took off. He was basically just throwing out that one jab at a time, almost lazy, like he was disinterested. And that other time when that other round when Tim managed to get Manny going back a little bit, managed to make Manny hit the ropes real quick, even though Pacquiao spun off and that, but he really did nothing spectacular.
Yeah, I scored I disagreed with Harold. I gave him the second round. I gave Bradley the second round, and I gave him the last round. That's it. Those are the only 2 rounds I gave him. I know they gave him one along the way, but I was shocked. As soon as I heard 115 come out of what's his face's mouth, I'm so shocked. I've seen some terrible decisions in my day, but that was terrible, and I don't understand where the reasoning is, and how that could even happen. I just don't get it. What's your thoughts on the Jorge Arce situation?
How disappointed in Kenny Bayless am I? Was that not one of the worst calls?
What are you talking about?
That whole thing, was that not one? That should have been a disqualification.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that, but
absolutely. When you rewatch that, I mean, that absolutely made me, that bothered me. That's how I almost knew that was like the precursor that there was something shady going to happen in the Pacquiao-Bradley fight, because not only look, he hit Arce low, turns around, gets the headbutt on him, and then when Arce has his back to him, he throws another shot from around the back. He catches him behind the ear. Okay, the first time was a mistake, maybe. The second time was all right in the momentum, but then the other 2, he knew what he was doing. He could have stopped.
I don't know.
And he kept going.
He tried to go in. I think. Do we have someone else on the line?
Yeah, I'm here.
Who do we got?
Cello Man.
Cello Man. Oh, we got Dax and Cello Man. What do you think, man? How did you score the fight?
It's horrible, man.
Terrible,
horrible.
Right? How'd you score it? How'd you score it?
I had a unanimous decision.
What was the score?
I didn't keep the score like that. I was just watching it, man. But I tell you, man, this is what's wrong with boxing. This is what's sad with boxing. Now, and I'm gonna be real, because the Lord has touched me in the past 2 years, and is it a punishment? Like is our country that bad? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to get technical about it. You know what I mean? The whole interviews, everything was about, he's not focused. He's not focused because he found the Lord. He found this. I mean, are they punishing him for that? I mean, clearly the whole world seen that Manny Pacquiao won this fight.
I don't know what else to say. Dax, you're still on the line, right?
I am on the line.
You can hear Jose, right?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. So I mean,
and I'm not. That may come out of left field, man. But that's how I feel, and I'm just gonna be honest with you guys, man. It's sad. It's really a sad day for boxing, man. I mean, Timothy Bradley fought his heart out. I give him. He was in great shape. He could take a punch. But come on, man. When a man himself says, "I'm not satisfied with this," the people are booing. You know you lost. You know what I mean? The whole world's seen it. I mean, it's just sad for boxing.
Did he say that? See, no, I had to start setting up for the Fight Now show right now. Did they interviewed him and he wasn't happy with the decision?
He said, "I'm not happy." He goes, "I'm not happy." I don't know exactly if he said, "I'm not happy with the win," or
he wasn't happy with the way it took place. He said he wanted it. He said his exact words, I believe, were, "I know that this is mostly a Pacquiao crowd, so of course they're going to be a little disappointed that he got the win, but I'm not happy with the way it was, because basically what he was saying is the fans shouldn't have been this disappointed, and he knows that he didn't do that well in the fight."
Well, then why didn't he tell his team to put him down? They were parading him around. I thought that was kind of crazy. He was complaining about the foot, So I mean, I thought he was ready to accept defeat, So
I mean, a warrior in the ring is a warrior, okay? But he didn't show no sign of his foot hurting. The only sign that he showed of his foot hurting was at the end when the belt was around his neck. I mean, come on, man.
The only time he complained about it was in the corner. You're right, but it did look like he twisted it pretty bad. At least we had the luxury of the replay. But anyway,
I think personally, the biggest travesty of this is, okay, bad enough. We can talk from now until the sun comes up about how horrible the decision was. But what I think the real travesty is that Manny's not going to get credit for his performance, because Timothy Bradley, as I've said on the show, Billy, and I've said in the articles and on our Facebook and Twitter pages, Timothy Bradley is a legitimate top 10 fighter. He is no second rate. He is no guy that's been beat up. And he's a hungry guy, a guy who can adapt, a guy who's got a good chin. And throughout that fight, 90% of the time, Manny Pacquiao was using him like he was a sparring partner. Like he was schooling him. And Manny's not going to get that decision. He's not going to get that. What's the word? He's not going to get that credit. It's all just going to be marred by the bad decision.
Well, you know what? The whole thing was that to me it wasn't even a close fight. I thought it was an You know what? I thought it was exactly how the Floyd and Cotto fight was. I thought it was an entertaining, one-sided fight. That's the best way I can describe it. But there's no way in hell, really, there's no way in hell that Timothy Bradley won that fight. There's no way that it was even as close. Even 115, 113 for Manny, it wasn't like that. But, hey, listen, guys, we got some other people trying to call in, so we're gonna go to them right now. So thanks for calling. Hey, Cello, it was nice chatting with you, Dax. I'll talk to you in a little bit, man.
No problem.
All right.
I take it easy.
All right. Amazing stuff there. And we're gonna give Tony one more shot here because I know he's ringside, and I'm dying to know what's going on with some of the ringside stuff. Alex Papali, he's waiting patiently to get on. We'll get his thoughts, and we'll take it to the next step here. But unbelievable chain of events, in my opinion, that took place, which otherwise was a pretty decent night of fights. I mean, to be honest with you. I thought it was pretty entertaining, the whole card. Normally, I have a hard time staying awake for the undercard, but not tonight. But in any event, we're gonna get Alex on the line here in a second. Tony, he's done. Apparently, his phone's not working or whatever. That's why we're sending him a new one. But anyway, I got Alex Papali on the line right now. What do you think, my man?
Billy C, how you doing?
Not too bad. Better than Pacquiao.
Man, I can't. I don't see giving him more than 2 rounds, quite frankly.
I gave him 2. I had it 118, 110. I thought it was sick. I just don't understand how they can do it. I mean, I just and we had Smitty on before. And he said the same thing, it's like it's what people, we wonder why we have so many problems with this sport about not getting the recognition, not getting the airtime, not having the good fights, having all the negative press. And then this happens, and we wonder why it happens. I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, this one definitely, because close decisions, they happen. It's subjective sport, all that stuff. But you're right. I mean, this one didn't look close. I think I'm glad Max Kellerman had the, wherewithal, the foresight to be not foresight, but at least, the fearlessness to say, look, I'm going to watch it again, and I'm going to watch it with the sound off, that maybe, we swayed things. But I think the crowd certainly did. I mean, were the judges trying to overcompensate for that? To me, it didn't seem close. I just thought that a lot of the punches that Bradley threw
weren't landing. They weren't even. A lot of them weren't landing. They were wild.
They were short. A lot of the jabs were short, and a lot of the hooks and flurries were kind of caught on Pacquiao's arms. I don't know. I don't see it. All I could think was maybe the judges were kind of annoyed at the way that Pacquiao made the whole thing seem like it was, hey, I'll warm up when I want to warm up. I'll come out when I'm ready.
Yeah, but the commission let him do. They all let him do that. I mean, I know that bothered Smitty big time earlier, but the commission let him do that, and they announced yesterday that they were going to wait for the completion of the basketball game. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't agree with it. I think that was a total joke. But remember something. That Jorge Arce fight ended early. It ended early because of that freak thing. The other fight ended with the knockout. So that you know how they have those time constraints. So the timing didn't bother me as much as that decision. And the truth of the matter is that I don't listen to them anymore. I did not have the sound off, but I don't listen to them. So they didn't sway my score. As a matter of fact, like I just said to Dax, I scored the second round for Bradley, and they all scored it for Pacquiao, But the 12th round was Bradley. I gave the second and 12th round to Bradley. That's it.
Wow. Yeah. I think those were the ones I gave to him too, as well. I thought there was one. I think the first was close. You could make an argument to give it to Bradley, but I thought Pacquiao might have stolen it with a couple of hard jolting
at the
shots
end.
In the end of the first.
Yep, I agree with you 100%. I was torn. I thought it was even. I was like, oh man, don't make me score this first round 10-10, and then all of a sudden those last couple of shots landed, and that was my point about all of the punches that Manny landed. When Manny landed a punch, they were landing flush on the face of Timothy Bradley. Most
right,
of it.
You're absolutely right, and I think the other thing is you could see there was a severe, far more severe impact, and that's what you should be scoring. Now, maybe we're not seeing that 100% on TV, but even on TV, it looked like Manny was landing the harder punches, and the harder punches should be winning the rounds, especially when the numbers are close.
I'm just I don't know what to say.
It's a weird one, I mean, and it was not a great card. I mean, I think the uppercut it's going to be the uppercut of the year. The Randall Bailey shot was absolutely amazing, and that's why our sport, man. I tell you, when our highlight reels beat anybody's highlight reels, you can't beat that. You know that if it's not for pay-per-view rights, I'm sure everybody would be seeing that on their sports replay of the week, because what an uppercut that was that knocked out Mike Jones. Mamma mia.
I tell you what. Hey, leave our heritage out of this. But I tell you what. And I don't mean to make fun of him, because I know it was an important thing, but he made Oliver McCall look like the man of men. I tell you.
I know he was so weak.
After all the crying,
feel for him. I mean, serious emotion for him. And it was all I could think of was like he was NORAD all night. It was just, he had all the missiles in the silos. It just was waiting for the opening, and finally it came. And God bless him. He was so clearly so thrilled about it. But I tell you, Mike Jones it seemed like he was fighting with the jitters from the start. And just as he started to relax, he had you saw why he had the jitters. I mean, in that sense, I think every fight's a story, and I think so. That story, as much as it was a long span of boredom and really, like they were saying, it was starting to stink it out. It really ended so dramatically. It was pretty amazing.
The one thing is they got to stop sometimes with that, because they clearly sway the viewer, and they're like, oh, this fight is stinking, and if anybody. That's what bothers me about some of these guys when they're doing the show, because if you've ever watched any of Randall Bailey's fights, that's how they're just like that. Exactly, like that's how he fights. And he waits for the one punch, and that's why he's so dangerous. And the losses that he does have, he has been stopped, but the losses that he does have is usually fighters that can box him and move and stay away from him, and then he just doesn't do anything for the whole fight. But,
he just waits for the opening.
Yeah,
I tell you, Guillermo Rigondeaux really, in a way, he would win Boxer of the Night, in my opinion, because as much as Tim Bradley had certainly the signature win of the year thus far, if not the last 5 or 6 years, the fighter that looked the best by far was Guillermo Rigondeaux. Wow.
Yeah, he looked good, speed, accuracy, the whole nine, and they slipped Russell Mora back in the scene. How about that, right?
Well, but I tell you, that was a good stoppage. He did a nice job this week.
Yeah, I think he was he did have one instance where he was a little unsure of himself when he stepped in between him at one point. He kind of did it twice. Remember, he stopped and separated him. But
I tell you, that was really a gutsy effort on the part of Theon Kennedy, because he never stopped trying, and you got to really respect that. And he was just outclassed. There's
Yeah.
no doubt about it.
Yeah, I don't think he was hurt or anything. I just think it was just like, he kept getting these knockdowns, and like he didn't seem stunned and stuff. I mean, face
Exactly. It was technique, and he couldn't see them. He didn't see them even coming. All of a sudden, bam.
Right. And like Mike Jones, on the other hand, when he took that shot, I mean, his whole face just fell apart.
It was amazing.
Oh,
it
man.
seemed like there was blood coming out of his nose before it landed.
Well, I don't know, but now Dax was just on, and he said that he thought that the Jorge Arce, he thought that Kenny Bayless did a bad job. I don't know. I don't know if I can agree with that. I mean, it happened so fast. I mean, what is he supposed to do? He did warn about the low blow, and I think what Dax meant was that it took him too long to get in between them, which I agree with him on that. But he in that short period of time, that 2 seconds, Jesus Rojas was able to he was able to land a low blow, a headbutt, a kidney punch, and then he followed it up with a busted eardrum shot. I mean, pretty amazing the damage that he appeared to have done to Jorge Arce.
Yeah, the combination of fouls he committed within a couple of milliseconds was breathtaking.
Now,
yeah, unfortunately, I had stepped out of the room for a minute just to take a phone call, and by the time I came back, all I caught was the replay of those series of fouls.
Oh.
To me, it looked like I did wonder why Bayless didn't just call it. I mean, I guess because he clearly saw that they were fouls, but, we saw Mr. Joe Cortez, other referees this weekend there, and maybe other referees might have just called it a knockdown. And then what happens?
Right, then it's a knockout. Dax's point was that it should have been a disqualification, but
I think you could have gone that way too.
Yeah, but I mean, he called it unintentional. Remember the
that
second.
Was, I thought, a little odd, but maybe because like you said, the momentum of how quickly he landed them in succession. Maybe Bayless saw that as unintentional.
Well, the thing was it was 9 seconds into the second round. The first round was nothing but action packed. So it wasn't like any other low blows or any illegal shots were landed. So, I mean, nobody got a warning, and it happened so quickly. I just think, I don't know. I think it was a tough situation that Bayless was in, but it just the chain of events was. Well, it was all capped off by the scoring, and the funny thing,
weird, yeah.
the funny thing.
But I tell you, even Bradley though, gutsy effort because. The way that he twisted his ankle, man, a lot of guys probably would have called it quits.
I know, but just like everybody was saying, he wasn't limping around. I mean, I've seen fighters that, okay, who's the guy? Remember, the guy who tried, you remember McCranty Jr. Come on, suck it up, kid.
Yeah, Yuri Foreman.
Yuri Foreman had a sprained kneecap, for God's sakes. He couldn't even stand up. Now that you knew he had a problem, but.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm just shocked. And of all people to rob, they robbed Manny Pacquiao.
It's peculiar. And the thing that's kind of makes it a little unsettling was the way Bradley, unveiled the ticket to Bradley Pacquiao 2, as if it was a foregone conclusion he was going to win. That doesn't sit well with anyone, I think, at this point, because it was so odd. But, I'm going to watch it again, certainly. I hope I wasn't influenced by HBO. I hate to think I am. I usually disagree with them as it is, and I do think they're biased from the beginning, and they certainly did sound like it tonight. But I didn't think they were off base tonight. I mean, I thought Manny won, and I thought he was dominant. He's not as destructive as he used to be, but I didn't think this was close.
No, I didn't either. And you know what? If everyone was waiting for the Floyd Mayweather-Manny Pacquiao fight, that just ruined it.
Well, that's what's weird about it. I wonder. Joe Santoliquito has been saying on the show every week for a while now that he thinks that there are people inside of Top Rank that don't believe Manny can win that fight.
Well, I don't know about
if that's the case, if there are, strange goings-ons, maybe that's why. I'd hate to think that that's what happens in our sport, but who knows? The thing about it is that it's such a rich sport; it never ceases to amaze. Even it never ceases to disappoint as well.
No, and I tell you what, Bradley Mayweather would be made a lot quicker than Pacquiao. Hey, I wouldn't be surprised if Pacquiao walks away. I wouldn't blame him in the least. Or if we hear some other cockamamie BS story tomorrow, like, oh, they made a mistake on the scorecards, they had it reversed.
I almost thought that was going to happen.
Well, it ain't over yet,
but somebody had it wrong.
Oh God. But anyway, Alex, I appreciate you calling in, my man.
Billy C, take care.
All right, take care. That's Alex Papali, and we had Dax Conco, and we also had Smitty from In This Corner, which is on Fight Now. So we got a bunch of people. If you're listening to the show, we're going to be hanging out here for a couple more minutes. Give us a call. Let us know what your thoughts are. Tony Treem is ringside right now, and I've been trying to see if we can't get a hold of him. And I'll give it another shot here, but I may have, he may be mayhem there, and he may not be able to hear his phone ring. But I'm curious to know what's going on ringside in Las Vegas right now, or if he's on his way to a press conference. I'm sure they're going to have a press conference about it. But crazy stuff happening in Las Vegas in terms of the judges. And the ironic thing about it is that prior to it, they asked, because they were killing time. They were all killing time with the basketball game and everything else. And the thing was that Harold Letterman even said that he wasn't crazy about the three judges that were chosen. He liked the one guy, but the other two, C.J. Ross and not Dwayne Ford, the other one, which I can't think of the name right now. But he didn't like those two, and I guess it proved right. So anyway, if you're listening, we got the phone lines open. Tony's last shot came and went. 845-228-8710. Let us know what you think. I think it's crazy. And I think that, if we ever wonder why people get turned off by the sport of boxing, I think we saw why tonight. As far as the way I scored it, I thought that Manny Pacquiao won the fight hands down. I thought he landed the harder punches, and like I had said earlier to so far everyone that's called, that he landed the solid punches. When he landed a punch, you saw them land flush. He was even landing some solid body shots. A lot of now, don't get me wrong, Timothy Bradley did land some punches. There's no question about that. But a lot of his punches that he was throwing were wild punches. And most of them were hitting the gloves of Manny Pacquiao. Are the judges scoring those as punches? I mean, even Jim Lampley was disagreeing with the famous punch stats. He said it again tonight. I think so and so won the round. He said, "Oh, well, I guess not." And then he read it wrong, and he corrected himself. So he bases his thoughts on the statistics. If the same types of people are judging the fights, if they're scoring those with the CompuBox stats or whoever's doing the stats, if they're scoring punches that land on the gloves as landing, or if they're scoring them as a power punch or whatever the case may be, are the judges doing the same thing? Did those scores come up because the criteria in which the judges was scoring differently? I don't know. I don't know the answer. I'm asking the questions because I'm shocked. I just I don't know what else to say. It's like, especially after a fight like this, the people that watch it now. I rushed home to watch this fight from the Hall of Fame this weekend, and a lot of people are up there, and there's virtually no place where they can watch this fight. So I'm wondering what's going to go through the minds of the people that didn't get to see this fight, the people that did not get to see this fight, and they're going to read about it tomorrow, or they're hearing about it now on social media. It's amazing. It's amazing what what we got going on with this stuff, man. But anyway, in case you missed it, the opening fight of the night, we had Guillermo Rigondeaux looked fantastic. He knocked out Tion Kennedy. It was officially 1 minute and 11 seconds in the fifth round. Russell Mora waved it off. Tion Kennedy was down once in the first, twice in the second, once in the fourth, and then when he went down in the fifth, Russell Mora felt that it was over, and that's the end of that. It was a title defense. Rigondeaux was defending his WBA super bantamweight title. Then we got to see Randall Bailey knock out Mike Jones. Going into that 11th round, they were fighting for 12 rounds. There was a vacant IBF World Welterweight title on the line. Randall Bailey had been waiting for a shot at that title for a long time. They even kept referring to Mike Jones as a prospect. He went into the fight with 26 wins, 19 coming by knockout, and no losses. And he got himself the shot at the title. He was dominating the fight. I think it would be hard-pressed to have given Randall Bailey any portion of that fight going into the official stoppage, which was 2 minutes and 52 seconds of the 11th round. Now, he did get knocked down once in the 10th, so I guess Randall Bailey got that round as well. And, Jones went down in the 10th and then was ultimately knocked out at 2:52 of the 11th to give Randall Bailey the win. He improves to 43 wins, 7 losses, and 37 of his wins now coming by knockout. He does have one no decision on his record. Mike Jones loses for the first time in his career, dropping to 26-1 with 19 of his wins coming by knockout. I got to give kudos to Mike Jones for being classy at the end of that one. I felt that he did the right thing there by saying, hey, I'm not going to make any excuses. He was the better man tonight. He was only the better man for about 10 seconds. 10 seconds, the count out. Actually, I guess we got to give him. I keep forgetting. We got to give him credit for the knockdown in the 10th. So Randall Bailey maybe was the better man for. Let's give him a minute. Let's give him a minute out of almost 11 completed rounds. And Mike Jones was man enough to give him credit there. And then we have the Jorge Arce fight, and the Jorge Arce fight, which was a strange ending. There's no doubt about that. Jorge Arce, 3-time world champion, he drops Jesus Rojas in the first round with a solid left hook that dropped Rojas. Rojas gets up. And according to the HBO team, I wasn't officially scoring that, but they felt that he came back and could have stolen the round if there wasn't a knockout. Then at 9 seconds into that second round, the fiasco happened. And we're joined again, I think, by Dax, right? Dax Khan?
Yes, Tony's having some technical difficulties.
Yeah, I see that, so we can't call him. So anyway... we got so you thought that should have been a disqualification, huh?
I certainly did. When you first looked at it, okay, the low blow, that's fine. And Jorge, being the type of guy he is, even at the end, said, he got caught up a little bit in the moment. And I didn't even realize it until they showed the replay later on, where, Jorge had his back to him. The guy punched him twice in the kidney shot. Then he gets him behind the ear. I mean, that was blatantly obvious what you were doing, And maybe if Jorge was standing face to face with him and he unloaded on him and Jorge had his hands down, that's his problem. Or if Jorge just turned around and it was one shot, that's one thing. But this kid just kept going and going, and then afterwards he's going to sit there and say he didn't want to fight. He was looking for an out. He didn't train hard to fight me. That's why this happened. Yeah,
well, he said that, and I don't know. I don't know why he said that. It was a good fight up to that point. It looked like it was shaping up to be a good fight. But you know what? I got to give Jorge Arce credit because he doesn't quit. I wouldn't think of him as being a quitter. I just don't. I got
last guy. I mean, over the last 15 years, 20 years, you'd have Arturo Gatti, Mickey Ward, Jorge Arce. When it came to in terms of guys that just don't know when to quit. No,
well, the point is that the bottom line is simply this: You can't in my opinion, in that particular case, Dax, you can't disqualify the guy because it happened so fast, and it also was the first time. So I'm not going to criticize Bayless for that. It was weird, but it's unfortunate because that looked like that could have stole the show for sure. We got Blind Ref in the chat room right now, and I think it might be Joe DeGuardia. He says terrible decision in Vegas tonight. We promoters can't wait for others to help our sport. We must guide our own ship. Joe, I wish you would call in and talk about it because I tell you the truth, it is terrible that happened, and I don't know what else to say, Dax. The scoring, I
know what to say. Hands together, and let's give a big clap to the old man, Randall Bailey.
Well, I'm talking about, and I definitely give Randall Bailey credit for doing what he did. There's no question about that.
On that card, my favorite part of the card the whole night.
Yeah, well, I'm just shocked at the scoring. I'm shocked at the scoring, and like Smitty said earlier, I can't believe that they even let Manny watch the basketball game. I mean, that was bad enough too. But hey, Dax, I want to grab this call. I might be getting Joe DeGuardia on, so I'll talk to you in a little bit. Hello, you're on the air. Who do we got? Hello.
This is Mark. Rules.
I'm sorry, I can hardly. You're breaking up. Who do we got? Where are you calling from?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Who do we got on the line?
My name is Margo. I'm a writer at Queensberry Rules.
You're calling from Queens?
I read rules.com. Also,
hey, we got a really bad question, brother. We got a really bad connection, brother. Why don't you call us right back? Maybe we'll get a better connection. I want to hear your thoughts. Okay.
Okay.
We got a bad connection here. We had somebody call in, so hopefully he'll call back and we'll get his thoughts on this decision. Obviously, now I didn't get a chance to listen to any comments that were made immediately following the fights tonight, and I guess some of the other callers had mentioned that Timothy Bradley said he didn't like to win that way. Which I'm kind of glad that he said that because it seemed to me that his team thought that he won. You know what? Maybe it was different. I mean, I don't know. I was watching it from TV. I wasn't ringside, and I thought it was a one-sided fight. We had a caller just before. If you're calling in, give us a shout. 845-228-8710. 845-228-8710. We're going to have the phone lines open for another 15 minutes or so, and then we'll wrap it up. But, we had some people in the chat room, and Blind Ref, it looked like it might have been Joe DeGuardia from Star Boxing, and I would have loved to have chatted with him. I know he's probably a little ticked off about the decision that we all got to watch tonight with the Manny Pacquiao fight. And the thing is that I don't understand where the justification, if it was a close fight, I'm sure that, and don't get me wrong, I like Timothy Bradley. I think he's good for the sport in terms of the personality, his work ethic, all of that stuff. I like him. I think he's good for our sport, but you can't have decisions like that. It's terrible. It's terrible. So, hey, give us a call, 845-221, 845-228-8710. I was about to give you the Campanera and Tomkovich phone number. It's all automatic every day. 845-228-8710. Give us a call if you want to hear, I want to hear your thoughts on the Manny Pacquiao-Timothy Bradley fight. Just finished up in Vegas. And by the way, like Dax said, Tony Treem is having some technical issues with his phone, so that's why we don't have him. He was ringside for this. You'll have to wait for his article that will be posted up on BillyCBoxing.com tomorrow, and I'm sure he's going to have some opinions on that. So we're getting ready to wrap it up here. If you want to get your thoughts talked about give us a call, 845-228-8710. I just lost a caller. I hung up on someone. We had a bad connection with someone else. So give us a shout. Let us know what you think of what I personally think was a total robbery. As far as the Jorge Arce situation, my man Dax Khan thinks that he should have been disqualified. The truth of the matter is I don't know. I don't know if I think it happened too quick. But anyway, is that a bit? Are you there now? Hello.
Yeah,
you're still breaking up, man. What? I got. You're still breaking up. For some reason, are you on a cell phone? Sorry, man. Hey, Billy C here. Who do we got? Where are you calling from?
This is Andrew from Calgary, Alberta.
Andrew from Calgary, Alberta. What's up, my man? What'd you think?
That was a travesty. That's the worst decision I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of bad decisions, but that's got to be the worst.
It does, right? It does. I mean, how did you score it? Did you score the fight?
I did score the fight. I gave Bradley 2 rounds.
2 rounds. That's the way I had it. 118, 110. And, I'm trying to figure out where the judges, I mean, do you see any benefit, considering it was a top-ranked card? Yes, I know Timothy Bradley and Manny Pacquiao, both top-ranked fighters, but do you see any reason why they would have wanted to give it to Timothy Bradley like that?
I have no, it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm trying to comprehend in my mind how the judge who scored it for Pacquiao only gave him 7 rounds.
I know. As soon as I heard 115, I was like, oh no. And then when Buffer said 115, 113 for Pacquiao, I went, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah. It's just unreal. And I follow me on Twitter at Boxing for Free. But I said whoever wins, Bob Arum wins as well.
Yeah. No, it's a shame. It's a shame. What'd you think on the Jorge Arce situation?
Unfortunately, I had just gotten to the bar as soon as that fight had started. I thought he looked good in the first round, but I was too busy ordering food and all that. The sound wasn't on because they were still playing the basketball and hockey games. But I don't know. I don't have enough information to make a good opinion of it yet.
Oh, but did you see the stoppage?
I did see the stoppage. I thought that the low blow, I'm surprised that Kenny Bayless didn't jump on it right away, but I don't know. Again, I don't have enough information to make a consensus yet.
Yeah, Dax Khan thinks that he should have been disqualified. I do think it was kind of wrong for Jesus Rojas to say that Jorge Arce was looking for a way out of the fight. I mean, he's never done that before in 68 other professional fights that he had. He's a warrior.
And I mean, what good would that do him or his career?
Yeah, and Dax has given us an update now saying that they rushed Timothy Bradley to the hospital, that he does have some issues with his ankles and everything else. But, I didn't see any hindering of his movement in the fight. I did see the replay of when he apparently hurt his foot or his ankle or his. I saw it look pretty serious in the replay, but I didn't think that.
I saw that and I cringed.
Yeah, it did look bad, but I didn't see him limping. I didn't see him not being able to move. As a matter of fact, he moved pretty fluently to me.
Yeah, but he just wasn't good enough to keep up with Pacquiao, unfortunately. Yeah. But luckily for him, the judges were there to help him.
Yeah, no, that's. So what do you think goes? What do you think happens now with Pacquiao?
I watched that fight with my dad. We don't watch boxing a lot, but he said that he wouldn't be shocked if Pacquiao just decided, you know what, I'm done.
Yeah.
But I think that there's going to be a rematch. There has to be a rematch, for God's sakes. I mean, there's no way that they can let this they can't let this slide. I mean, Bob Arum will make a rematch because he knows there's a lot of money in that, and hopefully it'll happen, and hopefully Pacquiao will knock him out.
Well, Freddie Roach did tell him to stop him, take him out now. It seemed that Manny he put on the brakes a couple of times, But, again, we were all watching it from TV. We weren't ringside, but Harold Letterman was. I know Harold very well. I think, I disagree with some of the comments made by a guy that we had on earlier, but I think that he knows how to judge fights, and not that I agree with his same rounds, but I had it the same score. I had it 118. Actually, I think he only gave one round to Bradley.
He had it 11-1.
Yeah,
he was very for Pacquiao that fight.
Yeah, unbelievable. Well, listen, man, I appreciate you calling in. Give us your thoughts, man, from Alberta, Canada. What kind of weather you got up there?
Cold. It's June and it was snowing in
Get
the
out
West
of
today.
Really? Are you kidding me?
Or in the West, but yeah, it was snowing in Banff, Calgary, or Banff, Alberta today.
Now, how far are you from Edmonton?
About 3 hours.
Oh, okay. I did. You guys have a cable boxing channel up there. It's like our Showtime. I did a show up there in Edmonton one time. I did the broadcast up there. It was pretty cool. I liked it. I liked the town. It was nice.
I'm glad somebody liked the town.
I got to be honest. I liked the girls. There was some beautiful women there.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. There's always an upside.
Well, I appreciate your thoughts, man.
No, thank you.
All right, take care.
Have a good one.
All right. So everybody, even from the Great White Nord, agrees that this was a robbery. I guess the only people that thought it was interesting, thought it was close, was the three judges. The three judges. So anyway, listen, man, I appreciate everybody's call. If anybody's waiting to get on, I'll give you one more shot. I'll take one more caller. 845-228-8710. 845-228-8710. If you want to give us your thoughts, wait a couple of minutes and then we'll pack it in here. No pun intended for Manny Pacquiao, but unbelievable. In case you missed it, Manny Pacquiao, in my opinion, won a pretty one-sided fight. Out of 12 rounds, I only gave 2 rounds to Timothy Bradley. I scored it 118-110. Like I said earlier, I gave the second round and the 12th round to Timothy Bradley. Every other round I gave to Manny Pacquiao. I do think that the fight was entertaining, but I also thought it was a one-sided fight in favor of Manny Pacquiao. The way the 3 judges scored it, one judge had it in favor of Pacquiao, but a lot closer than me, 115-113. And then shocking, the other 2 had it the same score, 115-113, in favor of Timothy Bradley, giving him the split decision win and the WBO title. I'm not sure where Manny Pacquiao goes from here. It is a feel-good story for Timothy Bradley and his family and all that other stuff. But the truth of the matter is, it's another black eye for our sport because we got too many times it's like this. And anyway, we had a message from Blind Ref, who I guess logged off or whatever. Might have been Joe DeGuardia from Star Boxing. He never called me to confirm, but he said, Joe DeGuardia, he said promoters like us need to straighten this out. I took it like it was coming from him, and I know Joe. He's a great guy, and I agree with him. If that was you, Joe, I agree with you, man. And you need to step it up. But he's got it. He's the part of the Boxing Promoters Association. I think it's called the BPA. And at one point, I would love to have talked with those guys. They hold meetings on a regular basis, and I would surely hope that they would call a meeting now to discuss stuff like this. What do promoters do? How can they police something like this? You put the commissions are responsible for putting the judges in place. I guess when you're having sanctioning fights, different titles have different judges that are allowed, but they ultimately are decided by the commission. Obviously both sides didn't have any issues with these judges, and I'm sure they do now. Now, the last time we saw something this bad was in the state of New Jersey, and the New Jersey State Athletic Commission happened to have suspended all 3, and that was the Urslandi Lara and Paul Williams fight. Do you think that they would do something like that? Do you think that they would do something like that here? But anyway, listen, we got to wrap it up. I really appreciate you guys joining us on Fight Now TV. We're doing the Manny Pacquiao, Timothy Bradley post-fight show. In my opinion, rip-off, totally terrible decision. But hey, it's official. Manny Pacquiao lost his title to Timothy Bradley in what I thought was a one-sided beatdown of Timothy Bradley. I thought it was an entertaining, non-competitive fight. That's the way I want to describe it. Hey, if you get a chance and you're still up, check out our Facebook page, Talking Boxing with Billy C. Dax has got some stuff going on up there. Join our Twitter. If you haven't listened to our show ever, tune in Monday through Friday from 5:30 to 7:30. We do air live on Fight Now TV Monday through Friday. We also you can also catch us on the internet, BillyCBoxing.com, and also check your local listings on your radio. We are on radio stations throughout the United States and Canada. Hey, glad you could join us. Until next time, ciao, baby.